Hello everyone, and welcome back to History of the Ancient World. Today we're journeying back in time to explore one of the most enigmatic and breathtaking wonders of the ancient world, the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. Imagine a lush, green paradise, a mountain of cascading flowers and trees, seemingly floating in the heart of a sun-baked desert city. Was this marvel real, or just a beautiful legend passed down through generations? Let's dig into the mystery. The story most often told credits the gardens to the great Neo-Babylonian king, Nebuchadnezzar II, who reigned around the 6th century BC. Legend has it that he built this spectacular oasis for his wife, Queen Amytis of Media. She hailed from a mountainous green land and was said to be homesick for the verdant hills and valleys of her childhood. To ease her longing, Nebuchadnezzar supposedly commissioned an architectural masterpiece, a man-made mountain of gardens, a botanical wonder that would bring the beauty of her homeland to the flat, arid plains of Mesopotamia. Picture this: terraces rising one above the other, like a giant green ziggurat reaching towards the sky. These terraces would have been filled with soil, deep enough to sustain large trees, vibrant flowers, and exotic plants from all over the known world. Water, the lifeblood of this oasis, would have been a monumental challenge. How did they irrigate such a structure in a desert climate? Ancient writers suggest a complex system of pumps, possibly using a device similar to the Archimedes' screw to lift water from the nearby Euphrates River to the very top. From there, it would flow down, watering each level, creating a constant, shimmering cascade of streams and waterfalls. The effect would have been stunning, a cool, fragrant sanctuary in the bustling, hot city of Babylon. Visitors would have seen a green mountain blooming on the horizon, a testament to the king's power, wealth, and love for his queen. Now, here's where the story gets really interesting. Despite these vivid descriptions from later Greek and Roman writers like Strabo, Diodorus Siculus, and Quintus Curtius Rufus, there's a huge problem. We have found no definitive archaeological evidence of the Hanging Gardens in the ruins of Babylon, located in modern-day Iraq. Archaeologists have excavated the site extensively, unearthing palaces, temples, and the famous Ishtar Gate, but no structure that matches the descriptions of the gardens has ever been found. Even more puzzling, Babylonian records themselves, like the cuneiform tablets from Nebuchadnezzar's reign, which meticulously list his many construction projects, make no mention of a massive garden structure. It's a glaring omission. How could such a monumental achievement, one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world, be completely absent from the records of the very king who supposedly built it? This lack of evidence has led many historians and archaeologists to question whether the gardens ever existed in Babylon at all. Some believe the story is a complete fabrication, a romanticized myth created by later writers who were captivated by the idea of an exotic eastern paradise. The tales may have been embellished over time, growing more fantastical with each retelling, eventually becoming cemented in the popular imagination as one of the 7 wonders. After all, the ancient world was full of stories that blended fact and fiction, and the allure of a floating garden in the desert is undeniably powerful. But there's another compelling theory that has gained traction, proposed by Dr. Stephanie Dalley of Oxford University. What if the Hanging Gardens were real, but they weren't in Babylon? Dr. Dalley suggests that the gardens were actually located in the city of Nineveh, the capital of the rival Assyrian Empire, about 300 miles to the north. Her theory points to the Assyrian king Sennacherib, who ruled about a century before Nebuchadnezzar. Unlike the Babylonians, Assyrian records are filled with descriptions of Sennacherib's incredible engineering feats, including the construction of a magnificent palace and an extensive system of canals and aqueducts to bring water to the city. Sennacherib himself boasted in his inscriptions about creating a palace without rival and a wonder for all peoples. He describes planting a vast park with all kinds of aromatic plants and fruit trees, irrigated by a sophisticated water-raising system. One particularly intriguing piece of evidence is a bas-relief from Sennacherib's palace in Nineveh. It depicts a beautiful garden on a terraced hill next to an aqueduct. The scene is remarkably similar to the later descriptions of the Hanging Gardens. So how did this confusion happen? Dr. Daly argues that after the Assyrians conquered Babylon, Nineveh was sometimes referred to as New Babylon. Over time, ancient historians may have simply mixed up the locations and the kings, mistakenly attributing Sennacherib's gardens in Nineveh to Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon. This would explain why the descriptions exist, but the archaeological evidence in Babylon does not. It's a tantalizing possibility that rewrites a famous chapter of ancient history. Let's imagine what it would have been like to walk through these gardens. Whether in Babylon or Nineveh, you would leave the dusty, crowded streets of the city and enter a different world. The air would be cool and heavy with the scent of jasmine, roses, and damp earth. The sound of bustling markets would be replaced by the gentle murmur of flowing water and the rustling of leaves. You would walk along stone pathways, shaded by the broad leaves of fig trees, date palms, and towering cedars. All around you, vibrant flowers would be in bloom. Pinks, purples, and yellows spilling over the edges of the terraces. Sunlight would filter through the canopy above, creating dappled patterns on the ground. As you climbed higher, the view of the city and the surrounding desert would unfold below you. It would feel like standing on a lush, green island suspended between heaven and earth. It was designed to be an experience that overwhelmed the senses, a display of royal power, not through force, but through the creation of life and beauty in the most unlikely of places. So, what is the final verdict on the Hanging Gardens of Babylon? The truth is, the mystery remains unsolved. We are left with three main possibilities. First, the gardens were exactly as described in Babylon, built by Nebuchadnezzar, and we simply haven't found the evidence yet. Perhaps it was destroyed so completely that no trace remains, or maybe its ruins lie in an area that archaeologists have yet to excavate. Second, the gardens are a myth, a poetic invention that captured the imagination of the ancient world and has fascinated us ever since. A beautiful story, but just a story. And third, the gardens were real, but they were the work of King Sennacherib in the city of Nineveh, and the name and location were confused by later historians. Each theory has its merits and its challenges, and scholars continue to debate the topic. But perhaps the exact location and builder are not the most important part of the story. The enduring legend of the Hanging Gardens speaks to a timeless human desire to create beauty, to defy nature, and to build paradise on earth. It represents the pinnacle of ancient engineering and horticultural artistry. Whether it was a real place or a dream, the image of a green mountain of life and water rising from the desert continues to inspire awe and wonder. It reminds us of the incredible ambition and creativity of the ancient civilizations that shaped our world. What do you think? Were the Hanging Gardens a real wonder in Babylon, an Assyrian masterpiece in Nineveh, or a beautiful figment of the imagination? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for joining us on this journey into the past. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to History of the Ancient World for more explorations of our incredible history. See you next time.